Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, MJ Clark. This is the Re-Viewpoint, and today we're going to be talking about the 2013 movie, Her. Now, this movie stars Joaquin Phoenix, Scarlett Johansson, Amy Adams, Chris Pratt, Rooney Mara. It's got a wide array of talent here. This movie depicts the telling in a not too far off future of a man who is going through the process of a divorce after he and his wife can no longer seem to relate in a personality, spectrum. He is standoffish, he is kind of depressed, he's very antisocial, he is not at all extroverted, and basically she is now wanting a divorce from him. Now, in the process of this divorce, he goes ahead and downloads this AI, played by Scarlett Johansson, her voice anyway, not on screen, and he begins to fall in love with her. Now, Joaquin Phoenix plays a character by the name of Theodore Twombly. He works for a business that essentially writes greeting cards and or some kind of sentimental letter to people from people who are not actually able to muster up any kind of emotion themselves. So because of this, and it makes sense to his character, he is very antisocial, that he actually would have a job in which he is tasked with writing sentimentality for other people when he can't seem to do it himself. Now, he was able to do this prior to the divorce taking place, but since the divorce is actually happening, he seems to have lost his motivation to do so. As Amy Adams, who plays his wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife, as far as it's concerned goes, she begins to harass him about these divorce papers. We need to sign these. He can't seem to let her go. It's his high school sweetheart. And as far as it's concerned, he is trapped between not being able to move on, not being able to do his job to the best of his ability, and also now he has downloaded this AI voiced by Scarlett Johansson, who in fact he begins to build a rapport and a relationship with, because she is advanced and her AI allows her to actually evolve and adapt and expand upon human interaction and human behavior. And because she seems so real, he begins to form a relationship and a love for his AI, and she in turn begins to reciprocate a love for him, or at least simulating one. Now, as far as it's concerned, Samantha, the AI, she decides to name herself Samantha, seems to be trying to also help Theodore get to a place where he's able to sign divorce papers and move on, because she has a weird jealousy over his ex-wife, but at the same time, she also loves him and wants to help him get past his pain. And mainly because of this, she tries to talk him into different things, blind dates, being able to have a sex surrogate where she actually hires a woman to come in and have sex with them with the lights off, and she will vocally respond as if she is this woman so they can simulate sex together. It's a very interesting movie. Now, when this movie first came out, I loved this movie. I couldn't wait to see it in theaters. I thought the concept was tremendous. This movie was not only nominated for a few Academy Awards as well as Joaquin himself. However, it did garner a lot of controversy because Scarlett Johansson does not appear physically on screen at any point in this movie. She is only the voiceover for the AI Samantha, and her performance was so good it actually upset a lot of people in the Academy as well as fans of this movie and critics that she was not nominated for a Best Supporting Actress award when Oscar season rolled around. They felt that she was being robbed. That tells you just how talented she really is. People were angry that she was not nominated in a category simply because her voice performance was so good and so captivating and so emotional. It made people truly connect with her even without her being on screen. That is a testament to real talent, true performing, a real performer's ability to engage an audience even without a physical appearance. Now, as far as it's concerned, the difference between this movie that I'm reviewing, Her, and the movie I reviewed before this, Ex Machina, is that this is a somewhat healthier relationship between Theodore's character and Samantha's character versus the one in Ex Machina between Gleason's character and Ava, his AI, mainly because Samantha only wants to help him get past and these traumas and grow as a person, and is really trying to motivate him, whereas in that movie, it was very, there was a possessive nature of it. Now, Theodore in this movie, being a person of immense depression, of immense antisocial behavior, and unable to even really form basic human interactions with people like, Chris Pratt or Rooney Mara, his neighbor, whom he even attempts to try to, have some kind of relationship with again, even though they apparently had one previously in college that was very brief, but they've remained true friends, and she is his neighbor, and she herself is going through a divorce. And it's one of these movies where there are so many different factors, but they all work. I love this movie's pacing. It never feels like there is a slow portion of this film. There's always something happening, and always a point in the film where the relationship between Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson's respective characters really do make this movie so great. They really drive the entire pace of this movie. You don't feel it drag anywhere. There's always a portion while watching it where you're just hoping that they can somehow find a way to really make this work, that it lasts, that it doesn't break. And of course there is at a point in the movie where they do have a falling out for a little bit, but ultimately they reconcile. And the beauty of this movie is that the messages that it sends, whether they be good or bad, they provoke thought and emotion and feelings. And I found myself really finding these metaphors of our addictive nature to our technology, how we really do worship it, praise it, fall in love with those different things, our PS4s, our Xboxes, our flat screen TVs, our cell phones, of course, and how we really do form some kind of dependent relationship upon them for different things that we seem to be unable to do in our own lives. I mean, look at it now. We rely on our cell phones to get us food. We rely on our cell phones to get us places with taxi services and ride-sharing services. We rely on our phones to form friendships with people that we've never met in person. Rely on our phones for dating. We rely on technology for everything. Everything. And, I thought that this movie was so thought-provoking, especially since it's 7 years old at this point. And it does feel like it was slightly ahead of the curve as we did turn towards the late 2010s. And it offers so much in an emotional aspect, in a romantical aspect, in a heartbreaking aspect. But it ultimately does feel like a real connection between these two characters, that you become so distraught in your own personal life. You do form these artificial attachments to your things to help you get through. They become your distraction and something in the way for you to overcome, that you can get to the good part of your life or to that better moment in your life. And make no mistake, in many ways, Samantha, played by Scarlett Johansson, is an obstacle for Theodore to overcome. He is dependent emotionally upon, Samantha's character, in some ways physically. When they have this falling out, he becomes distraught. He hasn't heard from her. He becomes manically depressed. And it's one of those movies where you look at it and even though there's a science fiction aspect to it, it feels so real in many different regards. And I praise this movie, high praise. Between the performances, the direction is tremendous. The score is beautiful, the music, the cinematography, and even though this movie is done as a not too far in the future movie, it really, really, really nails this light, technological, advanced atmosphere. Now, towards the end of the movie, as it breaks down, things get revealed to Theodore's character that really do have a penultimate effect on him, where he is very, very sad, very heartbroken. Towards the third act, you wonder if there is going to be a happy ending, because it does really destroy the viewer in a sense. You got so hopeful for so many things, and it has a way of punching you in the gut and punching you in the stomach, because there is a reveal from Samantha to Theodore in the climax of this movie where I think a lot of people can relate to it, where you think one thing and you think that this is one thing with this person, and it turns out that what you have isn't as special as you thought it was. And it's truly heart-wrenching, and I like, at least at the very end of this movie, there is somewhat of a redemptive aspect for the heart of Theodore, that there is something else after, and that it doesn't have to end with heartbreak, and that when one door closes, another one can't possibly open. You just have to get past your obstacles to get to that better horizon. And that movie captured this so well. As far as I am concerned, Her is still one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. And it was funny because when I saw it in theaters, I actually saw it by myself and the whole theater was empty. And I personally felt like I had a better viewing experience, which is rare for me in an empty theater. I love a packed theater, but there was something about watching this movie alone that I truly felt this connection to his character, and I really understood like this overarching, pain, but then this overarching on top of that sense of hope at the end of this movie. With that being said, I am going to go ahead and give Her an A+. Guys, thank you so much for stopping into my review point today. Please, as always, leave your comments down below. Let me know what movies or TV shows you, of course, want me to review next. I need ideas. I have plenty of my own, but just knowing what you guys would like me to review can also open me up to watching things I haven't seen before or trying things I haven't seen before as far as television shows and having an overall new viewing experience, which I think is important to be refreshed. Again, you can follow me here, like, share, and subscribe. Please share and subscribe. I'm trying to build up my subscriber base. I'm at 10 as of recording as far as subscribers go, but I would really like to bump those numbers up. As Matthew McConaughey once said, those are rookie numbers. Follow me on Instagram at The Lost Boy Anthem, and go ahead and give me a share and a like on there. Follow me. I don't have a Twitter, thank God. I avoid that like the plague. Thank you guys for joining me. And lastly, go ahead and follow my friend Todd Reed on his channel, Your Local Art Dealer. This man does tremendous murals. He does painting. He does stills. This guy is incredible. He's like no one you've ever seen, even in portraits. Follow him. He's got merchandise as well. I praise this man. Thank you guys so much. My next review will be out shortly.